why is it important for potentially a CEO or CFO in 2025 to engage in a podcast, and why is personal brand important?
I think that's a good question. Look, the reality is that the stats are really easy to find and very straightforward. Something like 78% of people have admitted to researching a product, service or person after hearing about them or seeing them on a podcast. If you're thinking about kind of personal brand, trying to boost your own thought leadership profile, open doors for keynote speaking, a podcast is the best medium to do that.
Yeah, it's one of those things, because if you've got a strong leader at the top who's willing to do all this kind of multimedia stuff, right, that's only better for the rest of the business. It's like a pyramid, right? You're encouraging the rest of your team to think, I can be like that, I can do that kind of stuff. So it's good for their business, it's good for their brand, but it's good for the culture of the entire company. Because what you want mirrors of yourself at the top, right? You can't clone yourself as a CEO or a CFO, right? But what you want people to think like you do. You want them to have been engaged and have that empowerment and ownership over your company as much as you do, because you might be a co-founder, you might have started it, you might have shares in it, so you want it to be successful. By putting yourself out there on a podcast and building your profile, it's only going to make the people underneath you think, I want to be like that, I want to be more like that.
The psychology behind it is really straightforward. That people buy from people like them, or people buy from people they like. Likability, relatability, they're the only two reasons why people will engage with you, buy from you, join your team, work under your leadership. This is your chance to do that.
Yeah. Do you think there's an element of some organisations being completely risk averse to it as well? You know, the big
absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, they just don't want to get
involved. But you know what? They're the ones that will get left behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because regardless of whether you're a blue chip, a FTSE listed business, whatever, people are looking for social purpose. People being the employees, right? So you guys play CFOs. Even a CFO is looking for social purpose and is looking at a business and going, is this a leader that I would have a drink with, that I would spend time with? I spend 40 hours of my week as a minimum dedicating myself and my skills and my craft to this business. They're going to get left behind.
If they're talking about the stuff that they know, they do on a daily basis, right? Exactly what they're scared of. They know it back to front, right? They're thought leaders in this space. They should know. Yeah, exactly. And so that could be a barrier to entry, right? If they feel like they don't know all that kind of stuff, but they probably should. And it just takes a little bit of kind of consideration. It just takes a decent host just to kind of put them at ease and just like let them fly, right?
Being able to sort of demonstrate to the talent acquisition leader that you're speaking to about your suitability for the business, to say, listen, here's a couple of podcasts that I've featured on where I've talked specifically about this industry or this pain point that you guys are experiencing. And that's my way of being able to, I'll come along to your interview, but actually when I've gone, there's my little lasting impression that you can go back and go, shit, man, I did like that guy.
It's also that proof that you're doing something else within out there in the space, right? It isn't just that you're crunching the numbers and doing what a CFO does. It means you've got a personality. You're being engaging.
I've said a million times. If I had £1 for every CFO that said to me, "I'm not your typical accountant," I'd be a rich man.
Right.
And actually, there is an opportunity.
Ironically,
to
you're
prove
all
that.
not typical accountants.
Prove it. Talk to me about it, right? Yeah, exactly.